What's up, guys? Paramoto back at you with another video. Welcome back to the Panigale. What's going on? Yeah, I still got her. Don't worry, she's not going anywhere anytime soon. I figured I need to make you a little bit of a Topic Tuesday today. So the topic has come up with a couple of my friends from time to time is, what kind of motorcycle would you get if you could only have one kind of motorcycle for the rest of your life? For the rest of forever, you can only have one fucking motorcycle. What would it be? It's not really even so much one particular make and model, but one particular kind of motorcycle. I'll be honest with you, that's like Sophie's choice. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can make the decision. I would rather almost not make a decision than make that decision, because that's a terrible decision. So for my past like 6 years of riding experience, I've been on sport bikes for the vast majority of the time. Vast majority of the time, I have been on a sport bike, culminating to today when I get to ride a beautiful 2018 Ducati Panigale 959. Previously to like just a couple weeks ago, I would have been like, if I can only have one kind of motorcycle for the rest of my life, it's going to be a sport bike, because race bike, because I like fastness, I like being an idiot out on the road. But honestly, in my older age, I find myself less and less riding like a dickhead, and more just sitting back and cruising and enjoying the ride. Now, that's not saying that I would ever get a cruiser. I think cruisers are dumb as fuck. No offense, cruiser guys. But at the same point, like, I don't use a sport bike for the sport bike's full intended purpose anymore. So it begs the question, would I still rock a sport bike as my one and only, my bay to end all bays, my bay forever? Would I do a sport bike for forever? I don't know. I don't think so. So let's go over what a sport bike does for you, right? So a sport bike, obviously the fastest kind of motorcycle out there. They are. So you got the fastest kind of motorcycle, you know, very concerned with performance and looks. They're not really great for a commuter. They can be expensive to fix. They're covered in delicate plastic, you know. And especially like this Ducati, like it would be like, if I dropped this bike, it would be a very expensive fix. You know, a sport bike is a hammer, and it'll fucking get the job done. It really will. But it's like, you don't always need a hammer. A hammer is a very specialized tool, and you can't use a hammer to screw in a decking screw and expect good results, right? We moved from the sport bike where, you know, like, yeah, you could do just about everything on a sport bike. I've ridden this bike all the way to Virginia Beach and back in the day. It was a fun ride. I got to know this bike very well during that time, to the point where I became super comfortable on this thing, and I just loved every second of it. But at the same time, like, I would have been more comfortable on just about every other kind of motorcycle. When it comes to services, like this Ducati, like, it doesn't really take, I mean, the services aren't expensive, but I'm not doing the work myself. I'm not, because I'm risking voiding a warranty if I do something like that. So I'm not working on it myself. I'm really not taking it for long distance trips, because it's not the greatest bike for that. And I'm not commuting to work on it because it's just too damn nice. It's too nice to park it where I park for work. I mean, where I park for work is safe, and, you know, it's a nice area and everything, but it's surrounded by areas of not so nice. And you know what? Criminals have cars. Criminals have bus passes. They can go wherever they want. But at the same point, like, I don't feel comfortable parking this bike at my work, so I don't take it to work. Like, this bike gets my passion going for motorcycle riding. I love it every time I get to ride. But at the same point, I don't think it's the best utilitarian example of a motorcycle that I would want to end all motorcycles. The zombie apocalypse motorcycle where I'm never going to be able to get another motorcycle ever again. What bike do I choose? I don't think it's a sport bike. Crazy, right? What would I get as a bike to end all bikes? I would say a dual sport would be way up there, right? I would say a dual sport, or like a naked standard, like an FC09, MT10, something like that. Here's the reason why. It's not just because I just got one and I'm on that buyer's high where, like, I think this thing is the greatest thing in the world, but I think a dual sport has the most versatility of basically any kind of motorcycle. I get a dual sport, right? And it doesn't have the best power, but it's got a good standard seating position. I can ride it for a long time, you know, without really any problems. They're cheap. I bought one used for, you know, basically $3,300 bucks, and then I bought the dirt wheels and stuff along with it. I can work on it myself. It's simple. All the parts are tried and simple technologies. You know, it's so versatile. You can have street tires on it one day, and then the very next day throw some dirt tires on it, and you can take that bike from, you know, the street to a dirt track, to a single track, to a flat track. There's just so much stuff you can do with a dual sport. And keep in mind that the dual sport is going to do it for a fraction of the cost, dudes. Like, I don't make a ton of money. I really don't. And I know people like Jake the Garden Snake. You know, he was into sport bikes for a long time, and then what he did when, you know, it became unaffordable is he went to supermotos, because you can have a ton of fun on the cheap. You know, you can get the best supermoto for like $10,000 and mod the piss out of it, dude, and then beat the fuck out of it. You know? And that's what's so awesome about dual sports and supermotos and everything like that is, you know, they're just so versatile, man. They're just so versatile. You look at a WR250R, my bike, the bike that I bought, and you have a cheap motorcycle. It's going to be inexpensive to fix, and parts are readily available. You can work on it yourself. You can do just about anything on it. You can do it, you know, you can do dirt and street riding, which this bike, you cannot put knobbies on this bike and take it off course. It's just, it's not built for that. It's just too fucking powerful. Even if you did put knobbies on this bike and took it off road, it's got 157 horsepower. That wheel, back wheel, is just gonna be spinning the whole time, and you're gonna be like flopped down on the ground. You know, a lot of the parts and accessories on this bike are made to be, basically look great, but they're expensive, and they're also fragile. So you can't really expect good things to happen if you ever put this thing down. You know, for just ease of use, I would probably take a dual sport as a motorcycle of choice if I could never have another kind of motorcycle. Would I pick the WR250R though, or the WR250X? I have a WR250X. Would I pick that bike as my end-all be-all? I don't know. I would probably want more of like a 400. You know, have a street and also a fucking a dirt setup on it and everything, and just, you know, just rock it out from there. Because honestly, it's gonna be the best bang for your buck. You'll never need another motorcycle. You really won't, because honestly, that bike will last you forever. I mean, there's people out there with, you know, there's people with high mileage on sport bikes as well, but there's people with really high mileage on supermotos. Like, you know, for instance, Lori Jennifer, LJ the Friendly Hooligan, she had like 50,000 miles on a KLX 250. That's insane. 50,000 miles on a motorcycle? That's some super high mileage. And that bike was fine, dudes. That bike was fine. She could have ridden it probably another 20, 30,000 miles. She might even argue longer than that. But that was her daily commuter for a really long time. There's so many good things about a dual sport, and you're not really worried about it. Like, you know, I find myself riding my WR250X harder than I ride this. You know, yeah, I accelerate on this, I go fast on this, I really do. But at the same time, like, I'm not out here fucking like dragging knee in a corner. Like on the WR250, dude, I'm like always going fast in turns. I'm accelerating through turns. I'm trying to lean it over, because if it falls over, I don't care. And that's something that you just can't buy. Like, the absolute confidence to fucking just pull something over on its side and just, you know, if I wreck it, I wreck it. Who gives a fuck? Talking at stoplights is boring, so I'll cut a lot of this out. You know, I mean, like I was saying, like, if I drop the fucking WR, it's not the first time it's been dropped, and I don't care about it. Like, you know, I really don't care if I drop that bike again. You know, yeah, I don't want to damage it. I don't want to fucking abuse the motorcycle, but at the same point, you know, if it falls, it falls. You know, it's a WR. It's supposed to be kind of abused a little bit. It likes it rough, you know? If this fucking falls over, or somebody pulls out in front of me and I fucking go over the bars on this thing, I'm gonna be crying. I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna be crying. You know? And like, there's just so much, you're just carefree. You really are just absolutely carefree on a dual sport. Like, whatever, you know? You'll ride it harder, you'll learn better, you know, you'll have a little bit more fun, you know, and you'll have a little bit more fun for like a fraction of the price. I mean, you talk about, I spent $3,300 on that dual sport, and I have, you know, and I spent $16,000 on this fucking beautiful sport bike. you know, I love this sport bike, but at the same point, to get the bang for your buck out of it, you know, get your money's worth out of it, you really gotta fucking do some tracking and stuff like that. Anyway, guys, that's my take on the matter. Would I, you know, what would be my end of the world bay to end all bays? I'll be honest with you, it's probably a dual sport. You know, if there was a WR 450X, I would choose the WR 450X. But I still have mad respect for the sport bikes. I still love sport bikes, guys. You know me, I love the sport bike life. I'm all about the sport bike life. You know, this is my one and only, my true first bay. You can't replace your true first bay, right? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Watch out for fucking Vlog Thursdays coming up here in a couple days. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Deuces.